Hey there.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, we're on there. We're on there. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. Thank you for tuning in to the lounge. After the sermon, it's the after party. We're here yet for another nice, fueled up message conversation that we'll have about yesterday's message with Pastor Terrell Munger at One Accord Ministries. So, of course, y'all missed us last week, but we're back. We had a little spring break, and now we're here, and we're going to have a great time tonight. Pastor, you have any words?
No, I'm glad the sun is out. I know the weather's still a
I
little
know.
bipolar, but at least the sun kind of shining now, and it give me some of that solar energy to feel good about life.
I know that's right. It does. The sun does do a difference, though. I don't know. I know people say they maybe seasonal behavior or whatnot, but it's like it makes a difference. You know, when you wake up a little bit more excited about the day when you see the sun shining, opposed to when you have clouds and rain and whatnot. So I'm always excited when we have this type of weather, especially in the springtime with April being around the corner. Birthday.
Yeah, April and April.
Yes, 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 yes. So, guys, if you are tuning in with us tonight, please like, comment, and share. Let us know that you are here with us because we're going to go ahead and jump on into this conversation. Yesterday, we had a phenomenal message. Once again, I think I'm going to say that every Monday that we're going to hear, it's going to always be a phenomenal message. But yesterday, we touched on a lot of things, and it was so crazy how sometimes I just feel like my pastor is the most gifted pastor on the planet Earth because he be speaking messages that he's like he give us a warning before the destruction. And so yesterday's message was you can't please everyone. And Pastor opened up yesterday pretty much saying how he has the ministry to be a mirror to us, pretty much being that person, the true testament of letting us know that we are made in his image. And when he strives to be the best version of himself, he holds the mirror up for us to be the best version of ourselves. And he touched on how if we look in the mirror, when he holds the mirror up and he looks and we look at it, we have the option to like what we see or don't like what we see. And those who do like what they see tends to like what Pastor's saying. But those who do not like what they see, they tend to, you know, be hurt or say, "Oh, you doing too much," or "I don't want to talk about that," or "This is not what I came here for. This is not the type of church that I want to be a part of." But I shared with him as well that when he showed up the mirror, there were some things I didn't see, but it made me love him even the more because it gave me the opportunity to correct those things that I knew God needed me to have attention to, so I could be the person that He wanted me to be in this lifetime. So we're gonna just talk, dive right in. That, like I said, the message yesterday was called "You Can't Please Everyone." And Pastor, I want you to talk to us about how important it is to create our identity in Christ, which pretty much puts us in a position right now because America's all talking about how reactionary things can be
Yeah.
when you put yourself in a position to have to please the others or please the atmosphere or please people who tend maybe not have your best interest at heart at the time. So Pastor, talk about what this means to you, this sermon means to you, and how can we relate to it and correlate it to today's time.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you asked that question. First of all, let me say, hey, Minister Laura, I see you on here. Anybody that has
Hey.
questions, please join in and ask questions. But to your point, one of the things as I started the message off, I kind of pointed out how everybody has done this. Whether you're passing
Mhm.
by a glass or you're passing by a mirror, you can see yourself. And sometimes when you pass by the mirror, you say, "Oh man, I didn't know that hair was out of place, or I didn't know that string was
Mhm.
on my shirt, or man, I didn't know my shirt was wrinkled like that." And what the mirror does, it gives you an opportunity to fix what you see. Now, if you get mad
Yeah.
at the mirror, you're gonna walk away looking like what you don't like. So
Mhm.
if you don't fix what you saw in the mirror, what you see is what other people are going to see when you show up to wherever you're going. So the
Mhm.
same way with the Bible and with the way I like to teach it, it'll give you an opportunity to search yourself and see if you have an attitude problem. to see if you have a jealousy problem, to see if you have a problem with authority, to see if you have some selfishness in you. And like I started off the message, I said, if I happen to step on your toes, don't get mad at me, just move your feet. If you move
Right.
your feet, I won't step on your toes. And so I think, but I do it to myself. And like I started the message off yesterday, I was saying every day I'm trying to be a better Terrell. I'm trying to be a better father, a better son to my mama, a better friend, a better pastor. I'm just trying to be a better person. So since that's in me, that's also going to be in my messages and how I preach and how I do ministry, because being a better person helped me. So what I'm saying and what I'm doing is in hopes that it would help you like it helped me. So when you see the mirror, don't get mad at the mirror. Start straightening up your clothes, straightening up your shirt, get your swag together so you can like what you see. And if you
Yeah.
are okay with you, most of the time other people are going to be okay with who you are as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Miss Minister Lori said the mirror, aka the Bible, aka God, showed me I was selfish. And like you said, we're the God, yeah, the Bible, the God, He is a mirror because it does show you and reveals those things. And I feel like, especially during COVID, we had to sit with ourselves. We were literally had to sit with God, and He had to show and expose us a whole lot that we probably wasn't ready to confront, whether it was within ourselves, within our marriages, within our families, our children, our careers. He really put some things out in front of us so we will be able to see, okay, now that I got your full attention now let's talk about these things that you don't want to discuss so I can better prepare you for when we come out of this pandemic, that you'll be better set to do what I called you to do. So it's amazing when you put yourself in a position to know that God is really just trying to help mold you and give you a life of freedom and give you that life of abundance that He speaks of all the time. But a lot of times people just take it as, well, I just don't want to do the work. So what can we do to encourage those to see it as, don't look at the Bible, God, or the mirror as a place that's going to point out my flaws, but it's also a place of just to help you improve, help you encourage you to want to like you said, fix the things that you necessarily don't like seeing. So don't look at the Bible as this place is just a book of rules or whatnot.
Yeah, I would say first, we have to not let people put pressure on us to be perfect. And we can't
Mm,
put pressure on ourselves to be perfect. So if you walk past a mirror and that little hair piece just need to be moved, you move the piece. You don't say, "Oh Lord, let me go kill myself. My hair out of place." No, you say, "Okay, let me move it." You don't say, "Let me go home." No, let me fix what I can fix. Now I might not be able to do a pressing curl right now, but let me fix what I can, put it in a ponytail, and then go on about your day. And I believe that's what the word and that's what the Bible is. It's an opportunity for you to work on the small things. And one of the examples I gave is sometimes life throws stuff at your way that you did what you were supposed to do. Like I gave an example of how I raked up the leaves. And when I was a
mhm.
kid, as soon as I got through raking up the leaves, the wind blew it everywhere. And instead of me getting mad, I had to just learn, let me get up what I can get up. And then I go get what blew away later. But we spend so much time trying to catch everything that blew away, catch everything that blew away, and fussing until it's a perfect pile. Then pick it up. No,
Mhm.
I don't care what happens. You'll never have a perfect pile. The wind is going to blow some bills you didn't expect. The wind is going to blow some
Yes.
gossip your way that you didn't expect. Clean up what you can clean up and clean up the rest later. It's okay to just be a little bit better tomorrow than you were today. It's okay. You don't have to fix everything at once. It didn't take you forever to get in debt, so you ain't going to get out in one day. Pay out the small department store credit card and say, yes, 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 I'm on my way. So start working on the small things. You may not fix relationships immediately, but when you know you did wrong, you can at least call and say, hey, remember I did this? I don't know what I was thinking. I just want to apologize. And don't expect them to say, oh, thank you. I've been waiting on this. You so wonderful. They might say, yeah, whatever, dude. But you did your part. And the same Holy Ghost that worked on you Let that Holy Ghost work on them, and maybe reconciliation will come. But you can't make anybody forgive you for hurting their feelings, but you can start the process and apologize. So work on the things you can and let God handle the rest.
Yes, you spoke on it yesterday, right before you opened up the message, real quickly, as far as our confidence in God, and how sometimes where people seem to shrink themselves if someone else who has a gift or similar gift or just doing their own thing in their own lane, and how they do it makes you feel like you're small or makes you feel like you're not good enough. Talk about that and touch on that as far as even in the midst of, like you said, just being in the place of correction and knowing who you are in God, not feeling jealousy or not feeling tensed up when somebody else walks in the room in the same space that may have a gift that you may not, you may want what they have or whatever the case may be.
Oh, yeah. Now that's very important because a lot of times we compare ourselves to people when we've been doing it a year and they've been doing it 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or maybe they were just a prodigy that got it out of the blue. So what you got to do is say, instead of me being intimidated by them, let me be motivated by them. Maybe I can ask them questions. Maybe I can take them out to lunch. Maybe they can share something that I didn't see. And if I can sow a seed of celebration into their life, maybe that'll help me with my journey. And a lot of us, we have to get out of our own head. And the only way to do that is the more we're thankful for what God has already done, the more He'll give us things to be thankful for. And you get your confidence back and say, you know what? I'm okay that I'm not perfect. I'm okay that I still struggle in some areas because the Bible says if you have confidence before God, you can have whatever you want. But if you allow comparison to people and where they are in their life, or even people that whisper and say some things, if you let people take your confidence, you're sabotaging your own future. Even if you heard a rumor, that's their opinion. Even if you heard some
Mm-hmm.
whispering, that's their opinion. What makes their opinion of you better than your opinion of yourself? Yes, I heard what you said,
Yes,
but keep watching, baby. It's going to turn around. Stay where you are. And we got to do that. And
exactly.
one thing, like I see Lady Tiffany just posted,
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I talked about was, you know, trying to please people takes charisma, but
Mm-hmm.
pleasing God takes character. And see, the
Yeah.
danger with pleasing people is operating your charisma can mess around and make you deceitful. You'll learn to say what people want to hear or act how people want you to act, and you're deceiving them when that's not you. But pleasing God using character takes discipline. That means this is what I'm becoming. It's not what I'm pretending to be. It's a journey that I'm on. I'm going to do it when people are looking. I'm going to do it when they're not looking. And I'm going to be proud of the progress I made. And the progress I made gives me confidence that I can make more progress. And I think we got to be okay with that journey.
Absolutely. Definitely be okay with that journey. But also you touched on right after that, the enemy is like a roaring lion seeking who he may devour in those moments. So even when you've taken all the time that you can to build up your character, like you mentioned, what you've spent so hard in trying to build in the last 20 years can be snatched away from you in 20 seconds. Talk about how what that rebuilding process looks like when you've worked hard to be this person. You know you are this person. You know you've God has created you as a new creature, but in that one moment of doubt or confusion or manipulation, whatever it is, like you said, you spent 20 years being this person, and in 20 seconds it's snatched away from you, but you can't redeem it.
Yeah, let me lament for a while because I am a Will Smith fan. I have been one forever. And one thing I said in the message, the enemy is like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. And see, the enemy can be working in one person to trigger something in you. And the
Mm-hmm.
enemy does not care about either of you. And let me go
Mm-hmm.
back to something I said a long time ago. I told you how this Memphis checking could mess folk up.
Yeah.
This Memphis checking is taking people confidence, it's taking their self-esteem, and you wonder why the violence so high in Memphis? Because we always want to check somebody. And then
Yes.
you get so used to disrespecting people, you disrespect somebody at the wrong time and they blow your brains out. And even though the Will Smith thing, you know, Chris Rock was disrespectful, but the enemy used Chris Rock to trigger something in Will Smith, and it could mess up his whole career. What if Chris Rock decided to file $100 million lawsuit because he can't see right in his left eye because Will smacked the sight out of him? Well, you got to lose $100 million because you lost your cool in one moment in the name of defending your wife. I know we can all say what could have been done or what should have been done, but I would have killed him with words. I'd have said, Jada, baby, I got this. Watch this. And when I got up there to receive my award, I would have said, what should have been a beautiful night has been tainted by someone who could not respect the illness and pain that another person was going through. You weren't there to see my wife in tears having to cut off her hair because of a medical issue she had nothing to do with. And you used tonight to ruin her night, which ruins my night. And now we cannot honor Serena and Venus the way we want to. Chris, you need to check yourself. Woo! He would have turned that thing
Nope.
around. But I know it's in the moment. You don't know what you'll do. And then the bad part to me is all the kids that were watching to
Yes.
say, I'm gonna slap you like Will. you know, and so I know he can recover from this. It's all about what we do from this moment forward. But like I said in the message, one moment can cancel out 20 years of work. 3 years of work, 5 years of work. And you cannot let the enemy in one moment make you sabotage your own future.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Minister Lord said the catalyst is love.
Yes. Yeah. And that's one thing I said in there is that and I think it was the last point I made. No, it was when I was talking about the second point I made, that you have to be
Mm-hmm.
emotionally invested in other people's experience. And the last
Mm-hmm.
point that I made in there was that you have to make the decision that is best for all involved. And if you get in the
Yes.
habit of that, you can be proud of whatever you did and how you did it because you truly had everybody in mind. Not just the moment, not just your ego, not just a person you want to like you, but you're actually doing it to please God.
Yes, 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 yes. I think I also touched on what Lady Tiffany also mentioned another fire nugget when you were talking about obedience. You spoke on rebellion is like witchcraft, and like you said, you have to take it. You have to take a inventory of everybody involved. Somebody might not like how you respond in this moment because they say, "Well, I would have done this and I would have done that," but you have to take an inventory. Okay, if I do this, is this is may happen. This person may view it this way. I may lose this, whatever the case may be. People might not understand why you operate the way you do, but like you said, you're taking inventory for everyone. And a lot of people don't always do that because they feel like it's about me when it's really not about you. God had created us to love all and to do for others before we do for ourselves because He take care of us while we take care of them. So if you're not taking inventory of everybody and how everybody may or may not respond to it, then of course you're acting in a manner of witchcraft and selfishness.
Yeah, and like my wife just pointed out in there, faith is not an act that you perform. It is a heart posture that you maintain.
Yeah.
I will
Yes.
act in such a way that aligns with what I believe in, no matter if the circumstances says otherwise. And Will is I'm telling you, his motivational videos, his book, and his book helps me understand why he could have done what he did, but at the same time, so many people look up to you. And it may be 100,000 people that still look up to you, or 1,000,000 people that still look up to you. But it could be 50,000, 100,000 that somehow what you did made them say, man, if Will can snap off, so can I. And I know that's a
Mhm.
heavy burden to bear, but the Bible says to whom much is given, much is required. Now, we are not responsible for what people do, but we are responsible with how we handle what happens to us. Our reaction should align with where our faith is and what we believe. And yes, we're all human, we're not perfect, but when we see that how we've acted does not align with the character we want to have, whether people say I understand or not, you got to come back and apologize. And
You
somebody might
got
say, what
to.
you apologizing for? It's not for you. I'm trying to please him. Father, against thee and thee alone have I sinned. Please forgive me for this act that doesn't align with what I believe is the best I can offer up to you.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's why also it's important to have the right people around you who give you wise counsel. Just like what Denzel came around and touched him and whispered a message to him, and we have a picture with him and Tyler Perry. It's always important to have those people around who's going to remind you who you are, and then let you know your crown fell off.
Yeah.
Here you go. This is not going to end your legacy. This is not going to end who you are. But let's work on how we can try to come from this and work from this moment. Because like it's important to have those people in your corner, like you said, not even just for Will, but for anybody, regardless of what magnitude your name carry. When you do have that, when you do feel like you have that heavy burden of carrying everybody on your back, especially with you, Pastor, you care a lot of us. We are your sheep, and you care about us. You want us to live our best lives, to have whatever God has desired for us, and that may be a lot for you. So we have to be able to protect you just as much as you protect us, and giving you that covering when you need it. So that when you have moments like this, it not like this, but just any moment, you know that there's love there, there's grace there, there's forgiveness there. Just as God gave it to us, we're able to give it back to you.
No, that's right. And something my wife just said on there, the part where I talked about the more time you spend with God, or the more you hear Him, the more you try to please
Yes.
Him, the more you start to see like Him. You can't just act godly and you haven't been spending time with God. And then the more you obey Him, the louder He speaks to you. So the enemy is going to be in your ear. But if you've been
All the
to
time.
obey God, His voice is going to be louder than what the enemy is saying to you. If you've been listening to all the gangster rap, if you've been watching all the reality shows, God could be whispering, saying, don't do it. But the reality show said, you better get them together. The gangster rap song said, you better slap them. And so what you've been spending time with, what you feed the most, grows the most. And so the more I try to please God, the more I do things that are pleasing to Him. It's not a one-time act. It's not okay, I please God.
Right.
Well, let me go with the rest of my life. No, it's a daily thing. He said every morning there's new mercies. Every day I
Yes.
have to try to be the best version of myself. Today, I can't say, well, I was nice to everybody yesterday. I'm going to be full of hair today. You can't do that every single day.
No.
And let me say something, because this is what I want people to know. I know people say they keeping it real and they saying what's on their mind, but did you know it be on our mind too? I want to
I was
be
getting
the
ready to
most
say that.
positive
I was getting
person
ready to say
I
that.
can. But my wife, I forgot what we were talking about. And I started to tell her sometimes when I'm talking to people, I be thinking, I could say this and shut this argument down. I could say
Mhm.
this and make them put their tail between their legs. But no, that is not the best I can be in this moment. There are times where I daydream about punching people in the throat. I could do it right now. Nobody even believe it. I'm gonna punch them in. But just because something's in your head, it doesn't mean you're keeping it real if you say it. What you're doing is you're keeping it undisciplined. If you can't control what comes out of your mouth, that ain't being real. That's having Tourette's. That's that's having an impulse problem. That's not being able to control yourself.
You right. You definitely right. And we here because I was just getting ready to say the similar thing. Like some people get it so twisted when you join church and you start building a relationship with God, that automatically just because you walk down to the altar, it just gives you a clean slate. It does give you a clean slate in a sense, but it doesn't wipe all the things, all the thoughts that may enter into your brain. That because it's been plenty of times. I don't care who the holy of the holiest persons may have, just be straight on, wear white, got to glow everywhere they go. But they have had moments where they thought something, but they immediately dismissed it because of the time they spent with God, the time they spent with people who think like Him, who wants to strive to be like Him, who spend time in His Word and understand what He wants for you. So, like you said it perfectly. Don't think just because, oh, now that my conversation has changed or my disposition has changed, that I don't want to let you know that I'm from North Memphis. I just
And that
I
and
just I have to practice self-control.
And that comes apart with the point that I made that we have to be emotionally invested in other people's experience. One of
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
reasons I'm careful with what I say is I don't know what other people have been through. I don't know if they're on the verge of suicide. I don't know if they're about to snap. You ain't gonna see me checking. You're not going to see me. I don't care if it's the smallest thing. Now, those people who I'm close to, we might laugh about some things, but even my wife will tell you, I don't do the checking. I don't do that. We can have some fun without attacking each other's insecurity. And then when you attack somebody's insecurity, oh, they have to laugh so they don't seem fake. Not knowing you're speaking to what I battle with in the mirror. You're speaking to what I
Yeah.
struggle with. You're speaking to, but they too sensitive. No, I'm not. You're saying to me what I'm fighting to keep from saying to myself. I know I got a big head. I know I got a big nose. I know I'm goofy and I'm struggling with it. So you saying it just for a laugh is attacking what I'm trying to get over myself. And that's why you have to speak
Mhm.
life into people because you don't know what they're going through. Through this whole cold, mean world that we live in, it's 1,000 negative words. So I want to make an impact in your life by being the one positive voice. If that's all that is, I'm going to compliment something about you. I'm going to remind you of the goodness of God and all He's done for me. You might say He a holy roller,
Yes.
but whatever, I'm not contributing to your self-esteem problem. I'm not contributing to your suicide. I'm not contributing to your self-sabotaging behavior. If you want to go do something bad after talking to me, it's because you didn't want to hear the good that I had to offer.
Exactly. Exactly. You said that because, like you said, you don't want to feed into that. I'm not going to feed into the stigma that you may have already have before you, the atmosphere that you're in. I'm not going to feed into that. But if that's what you want, go right ahead. But like I said, I don't want to feel like I'm a contributor to that. And then something happens. Now I have to answer to God as far as why I didn't. Why am I switching up as far as who I am in this atmosphere or this or environment versus when I'm over here and doing this and doing that. So a lot of people does that switching back and forth between okay, it's okay to act this way when I'm in around this group of people. You have to stay the same no matter where you go. You can't be hot or cold or lukewarm. God doesn't really like that because you're ruining the work that he's doing in you because somebody else is watching. You never know who's watching you, who's like, okay, I see a change. I see that, we both came in this area. Both came from this environment. I can work with these things. And then that one moment, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth
Yeah.
me trying to find out about this God is because she talked about God all the time. Now look what she doing.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, there's a person that is close to me, so I'm not gonna mention any names, but that person loved having fun and checking people and all of that. And I witnessed this one day they were having a bad day, and the person came in treating them like they treat everybody else because they thought that's what they liked, and they smiled through it. But when the person left the room, they came and told me how they really felt, and I wanted to say, "See." That's why you don't need to do it. But at that time, I know they didn't need to hear it. But I was just saying, you got to plant the seeds of the fruit you want to grow into your life. If you don't want
Mhm.
that fruit, don't plant those seeds. There are so many ways to have fun, so many ways to have great conversation. But this Memphis check-in, that's the reason we got so much low self-esteem and anger problem. People be let all their partners done check them and check them and check them. And now here come a stranger that disrespect them. I'ma shoot the stranger because I can't shoot my friend, but I'm gonna take it out on you and my boys gonna celebrate me for it. We gotta
Mhm.
plant better seeds.
Yep, you're right. Okay, baby.
So, and we all go through it, and I'm not saying we good at two shoes or we walk on water. I'm not saying none of that, but we do have to be careful of the seeds we sow because it might grow up at a time that you need it the most. And if you've been planting bad seeds, you're gonna eat the fruit of what has come out of your lips.
Right. Absolutely, absolutely. Pastor, you did a wonderful, wonderful job yesterday. Like I said, I'm gonna talk about my pastor like nobody else will. I said, because he said, I said, if the right people had heard this message yesterday, I really truly believe that the events maybe would have been different, a lot different. But I just want to take the time to really thank you and let you know that we really do appreciate you and what you strive so hard to be. Because it works within us, all of us, whoever has experienced you, those who got their toes stepped on, whatever. But for us who have experienced you and know that you really truly have the heart for the people, we appreciate you and appreciate your obedience and your sacrifice to continue to be that person that we need to see in order to walk this life that God has intended for us to do. So I thank you.
Well, I thank you so much, and it's likewise, and I can't wait to see where we are a year from now. Because, and for anybody that is listening, we know we all have our down moments. We know we all, feel unworthy. But that's why the Bible says, forsake not the fellowship of the believers. When you're down, you need to be around some up folk. When you feeling low,
Yes.
you need to be around some hopeful folk. So staying in the house saying what somebody else need to do is not benefiting you. Come be around some people that's doing it. We trying, we falling, we getting up, we trying to get it right. And we want to work to the day that we're actually on one accord. All right, I ain't got nothing else
Right.
to say. Shut the door.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, thank you guys for tuning in tonight for another phenomenal episode of The Lounge. After the sermon is after party. Please feel free to join us on Sundays at 10:30 at One Accord Ministries at 4741 Winchester 38118. You guys got to come out this Sunday. We are celebrating 11 years in ministry, guys, in our own building. We got a gym. We are doing phenomenal things over there at One Accord, and I'm so excited and so happy to be a part of this journey. So, guys, if you will, please join us in celebrating with us for 11 years on this Sunday, April 3rd. And, guys, we just love you. We hope you have a great, wonderful week, and we will see you next Monday.